morning, everyone. I'm Diya Mohan, a proud 12th grader student of Delhi Public School, Bangalore East. It is an absolute honor to welcome a distinguished guest on today's episode of EDU TV, Careers in Law. Joining us today is Dr. Mallikarjunaiah J.M., an eminent academician and the principal of KLE Law College, Bangalore, one of India's premier institutions for legal education. Dr. Mallikarjunaiah has over 2 decades of leadership in the field of law and education. A specialist in labor laws, legal writing, and international law, he has contributed immensely to shaping the careers of thousands of law aspirants across India. Welcome to the show, sir. We are truly privileged to have you with us.
Thank you. It's pleasure. It's a pleasure to join this meeting and interact with you all.
For many of us in high school, law seems like a vast and serious profession. Could you please explain what kind of mindset and skill sets students should develop in school if they are interested in pursuing a career in law?
Okay, that's fine. Well, you did mention that it is vast and serious. Law is vast and serious. First of all, I must approve these 2 observations. It's vast because there is nothing like legal domain by itself. The experiences that we see in the society, those experiences will shape the law, and the law is framed on the basis of experiences in the society and to solve the problems in the society. It is in that regard, you are right, it's a very serious profession and it's vast. And why it turns out to be serious is for this reason that we call lawyers the social engineers. So we call lawyers the social engineers, and like an engineer builds, it's always true that a lawyer builds society, and lawyer determines what are the social problems, how the society has to run on a right path, and so on. Thus, it becomes a serious profession. Let me come back to the important limb of the question that you asked, and that was what one should be made of, what skill sets one should have, what mindsets one should have, who would be suitable to take up legal profession or legal education to start with. If that is the question, there are a lot of skill sets which the lawyering requires, like any other profession. I must make a special mention that legal education does not lead to occupation, it leads to profession, a noble profession. This noble profession, like any other profession, of course requires, apart from the mindset, some skills. Let me first talk of the skills that are required of. It's very interesting, maybe to hear from me, for all of you, that like a lawyer, like an engineer has his tools, like a doctor has his tools, lawyer too has his tools. You can imagine what tools an engineer will have, what tools a doctor will have. Can you also imagine what tools a lawyer will have? It will be surprising for you to hear from me that the lawyer's sole tool is language. Language. Words are his tools. How much ever proficient you are in language, so much good you will be as a lawyer. You must have mastery over vocabulary. You must have an excellent communication skill. It's not just vocabulary. How rich is your vocabulary doesn't matter by itself. How well you recall a word to suit the situation, that becomes very necessary. Should a lawyer speak at length? Should a lawyer be brief? Briefer you are, sharper you are in your communication. You all know who has the skill of good listening. Even the judge do not have the good listening. That's why in legal profession, there is a joke that if you have a weak case, you will argue at length. If you have a strong case, You will not argue. You'll just make your points, make your submissions, and say, "That's all, my lord." Thus, while communication, vocabulary, language skills become important in the course of your legal drafting and in the course of your submissions to the court, it would be enough and excellent if you have the ability to couch lot of things, tell lot of things in fewer words. I think before the follow-up question, this much of answer for the first question is fine, I believe. If I have I have missed out anything, or if skill sets and answers about it is unclear, you can have a follow-up question, of course, there.
Thank you so much, sir.
Please let me know if if the pace is fine, or you want me to go slow.
Yeah. There are so many branches within the legal field: corporate law, criminal law, constitution law, international law, and more. How should a student go about choosing a specialization?
Okay, that's very interesting. You see, legal education has been sought after by the desiring and deserving students, on par with the medical education, if not above medical education. This was not the situation earlier. Legal education and studying law was unfortunately one of the last resorts. People who do not get jobs, people who do not get married, people who have a lot of leisure time used to take up legal education. Those days, fortunately, have gone. And now, legal education has been the preferred choice for +2 candidates and also the graduates. Why? Why legal education has become so prominent now? Why children who are well oriented, with excellent scorecard in their hand, with excellent motivation in life to do something good in life, to become great in life, why such students are interested today in taking up legal education? If we take up this question and see the answer, it also answers your question. That is, legal education earlier was leading only to litigation practice in courts. Hardly about 20 to 30% of the law graduates today go to courts, wear the black coat, and become the advocates. 70% of the excellent law graduates are getting into what we call as law jobs. You call them corporate lawyering, you call them law jobs, and so on. Thus, at top level, employment opportunities for lawyers have been created much more than the litigation practice itself. That's one reason why legal education has become so prominent today, and it is worth considering for +2 candidates to take up legal education and hope and aspire that they can brighten their career while satisfying the intellectual thirst in life. Coming to the question that you are raising, what were these areas of practice? How one should look at it? It's like this. Depending upon the interests of the students and also depending upon the variety of specialization that exists, like you can become a lawyer and practice in the courts of law. You can become a judge. You can become a legal advisor. You can become a law teacher, and you can join major corporate houses, and you can be the in-house lawyer therein. Or there are exclusive law firms today. 100, 200, 300, 500 of advocates work under one forum. Greatest business houses will give them the business of negotiating contracts, drafting contracts, and legal complaints, and also the litigation that the companies face. Thus, along with the conventional court practice, today you have, parallel to this, opportunity in arbitration, opportunity in mediation, opportunity in employment. It's not actually employment. When these firms employ you, They will not call it employment, they call it retainership. You will still be an independent advocate, but the company retains you. You cannot work for others. And there is an enormous opportunity in banking law, investment law. Today, every walk of human life is not only touched by technology, it is continuously and in an accelerated rate. At an accelerated rate, the life has been touched by artificial intelligence. Commerce is no exception to it. Commerce is hit very fast. So, lawyers who can understand, young law graduates who can understand technology, how technology works, and what are the new breed of law that are coming in, if they can learn and address the issues that surround, be it data protection, be it data security, be it the privacy and the financial frauds, cyber crimes, etc. There is humongous opportunity that is available today for the younger generation who alone can understand these new breeds of problems, new genre of law, and they alone can come up with the skills to address these concerns. Thus, then maybe as you are asking, how one should choose the course. Probably as a principal, there were times for me, I used to interview the candidates and parents before I admit them. Times have changed. Candidates and parents have started interviewing me over time. They would want to know so much. They would have come up with so much research. If you are running in your law school, BA LLB, BBA LLB, BCom LLB, BSc LLB, BTech LLB, and so on, what course I should take, why I should take that course, what are the subjects I will be studying in this course, and how would that match with what I have come here to become. That is, people come with the set goals. That's a very wonderful and welcome thing. Thus, if the students have already figured out through their research, through the guidance as to they want to become a corporate lawyer, they want to become an arbitrator, they want to become a court lawyer, they want to become a teacher, depending on these interests, the courses that have to be taken are suggested. For instance, you want to become a judge, you want to become a litigating lawyer in the court, you want to become a law teacher, ideally we suggest BA LLB to be taken up. Lot of students come with the clear-cut idea as to what they have to do. Categorically, they will tell me, they will tell their parents in a meeting of all three of us that they are very clear about what they want to become in life. That is, they want to become a corporate lawyer. Never ever court practice. For such candidates, obviously we end up suggesting either BBA LLB or BCom LLB. If somebody wants to specialize in IPR, trade laws, etc., we would also be suggesting them to take up BSc LLB, BTech LLB, and so on. Right? Dia, in the course of this explanation, if something, I believe this session is intended for +2 students, +2 students. If anything is becoming a jargon, because they say, there is a joke. Doctor's handwriting, nobody can understand. When lawyer speaks, nobody can understand. That challenge, that risk is there when lawyer speaks. If there is anything of that sort, if my communication is not understood, some words are not understood, please intervene and pose questions so that all of us get benefited. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Today, many students are considering studying law abroad and pursuing integrated programs like BBA LLB or BA LLB. Could you guide us on how to decide between these options and how Indian legal education compares globally?
Yeah, there are 3 questions in it. One is, how about abroad education? Second is, what are the considerations to take up different courses, BA LLB, BBA LLB, BCom LLB, and so on. I think this second question I answered, I believe, just a while ago. Let me take up the first, that is abroad education, and the last, how vibrant is Indian legal education? Whether people getting graduated in Indian legal education system can answer the problems of the world, can they understand the laws of the world, and so on. Right? Let me address the first one. If you are looking at abroad education, ideally, you must pursue it not after +2, but after graduation in law. Whether it is 3 year or 5 year, please have a graduation in law and then look for specialized LLM courses, that is post-graduation in law. LLM courses, maybe from the Harvard University, a lot of universities are there. Maybe from London School of Economics, a lot of Vanderbilt, a lot of them are there. And ideally, see, lot of times we end up learning from our own students. One such learning that has happened to me, because I have not gone abroad and I have not done my LLM from abroad, nor I have had the law job, nor I was a litigating lawyer. I'm a teacher who produces all of them, right? When I understand from my students, what I get to know is that it's not ideal to go and do bachelor's degree abroad. It's ideal to do only post-graduation degree. That post-graduation degree also has to be done very carefully, considering what you want to become. If you want to return and become a law teacher, Harvard is the best. If you want to return after your LLM and take up some corporate employment, my students suggest to me rather that London School of Economics and kind of universities are better. So these universities also specialize. Some universities concentrate on providing more and more skills. Some universities concentrate on providing basics so that with the help of basics, children can take it forward. Both are important. So considering you want to come back and do corporate lawyering or court lawyering or become a teacher. If it is corporate lawyering, you are going into fintech, you are going to GenCorp and so on have to be considered and the universities have to be selected. Fortunately, throughout the year, in the city of Bangalore, consortium of abroad universities would come, hold their conclaves at some star hotels where the children are invited. It's better to participate in such events and get to know more and more right from the universities who are offering those courses. When it comes to practice area, you may be interested in criminal law, you may be interested in civil law, you may be interested in corporate laws, you may be interested in tax law. Now specializations are emerging. Considering these things again, you have to look at your university. The last thing is, there is nothing wrong, and I would like to give a very strong call to all youngsters that every parent wants a good teacher. Every student want a good teacher. Unfortunately, seldom the parents are ready and willing their children to become teacher, and seldom students want to become teacher. This trend has to change. If the country has to survive, if the future citizens have to be groomed well, not only for these two reasons, guys, unlike earlier days, teaching is well-paying job today. It may not be as lucrative as the corporate job. Nevertheless, it is very well-paying job. Thus, if you are looking at teaching, you should also look for any of the Ivy League universities abroad who would concentrate rather on giving strong basics in legal subjects, right? Well, that is my view about how do you consider abroad education in law. Coming to the last limb of the question that you posed, namely, how vibrant is Indian legal education? One good part with legal education is all over the world, almost, the basic principles that guide the law are one and the same. We call them common law countries. We call them civil law countries, common law branch, civil law branch. We have a combination of both, I can say, with the experience of over 25 years as a law teacher. I can say we have a combination of both, though we have inherited common law legal system very strongly. Since the basic principles that govern the corporate law, constitutional law, criminal law, tax law, name the branch of law, basic principles are common. So, another part is because of Indian ethos, Indian education system, and Indian approach towards paying more and more attention to basics. In India, law schools are law schools, if I can put it this way. In India, law schools are more of law schools, less of lawyers schools. You may be wondering, what does this mean? In law school, much of law is taught. In lawyer school, much of what the lawyers do is taught. Since, though there is a gap that in law school, Indian law schools, skills are provided as a secondary importance. That's where we have to correct ourselves. The other side of it is that strong basics are given in Indian law school. Indian legal system has been proved, Indian legal system, inclusive of the judicial decisions of Indian Supreme Court, have been so vastly referred, and intellectual minds of this world have been the beacon of hope, rather, for a lot of legal systems across the world. Thus, there is a perfect match. Student who graduates in Indian law school, in my view, by all means be competitive enough to work for or to complete the work of any abroad country, sitting in India or going out. Hope I made the answer to the question.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mallikarjunaiah, for your valuable insights. Your words have definitely sparked deeper interest and clarity for all the students watching this. On behalf of my school, Delhi Public School, Bangalore East, I extend heartfelt thanks to our respected principal, Dr. Manila Carvalho, for giving us the opportunity to engage in such inspiring conversations. A special thanks to Mr. Pranav Guha Takurita, founder of EDU TV, and Ms. Tanya Sethi, co-founder, for curating this wonderful program that bridges schools and careers through real-life experiences and expert voices. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, and wish you all the very best.